Oh, honey, you might want to try our plus size section. It's in the back corner.
That moment changed everything. Michelle didn't argue. She didn't explain. She didn't cry. She just thought, for the first time out loud in her own head, I'm ugly. Not I feel fat. Not I need to lose weight. Just, I'm ugly. A label that stuck to her skin and wouldn't come off. That was the second hit, the one that seared into her soul. It's not just the way she feels anymore. It's how the world now sees her, talks about her, labels her. Invisible, undesirable, dismissed. And the worst part? She's doing everything right. Eating clean, working out, tracking every bite. And it's still getting worse. Let me tell you what no one bothered to explain about women's bodies after 40. Maybe you saw yourself in Michelle's story. Maybe you've had your own moment, standing in a dressing room, avoiding a mirror, deleting a photo, feeling unseen or undesirable, where you realized, this is who I am now. And here's what I need you to understand. What's happening to you? It's not your fault. It's not laziness. It's not a lack of willpower. It's not because you're not trying hard enough. It's biology. As you get older, your body changes the rules, and no one bothered to explain it to you. So you keep doing what used to work, eating less, moving more, trying harder. But it doesn't work, because effort isn't the problem. The reason you can't look at yourself anymore, the reason clothes don't fit, the reason his gaze changed, the reason you avoid photos, mirrors, beaches, it's not about willpower. It's not about discipline. It's not about working out harder or eating less. It's something else, something simpler, something you've never been told. And once you see it, everything clicks. Stay with me, because in just a few short moments, you're going to understand exactly why your body stopped responding and what actually makes it respond again. Not another diet, not another workout plan, something that finally makes sense. But first, you need to understand what's actually happening right now and why it's guaranteed to get worse if you don't put a stop to it. My name is Claire Jensen. I'm a certified nutrition specialist, CNS credentials. Over a decade consulting with national supplement brands. I spent years on stage, on camera, telling women exactly what to eat, how to move, how to fix their bodies. I was good at it. And then I turned 40, and my body stopped listening. It started small, 7 pounds in 3 months. I didn't panic. I knew what to do. I cut carbs, I tracked macros, I added more cardio. The scale didn't move. 6 months later, it was 14 pounds, then 20. I stopped wearing anything fitted. I lived in black. I avoided cameras. The worst part wasn't the weight. It was the mirror. I used to check myself every morning. Full body, confident, put together. At 41, I started avoiding mirrors. At 42, I only looked at my face when I did my makeup. At 43, I showered in the dark because I couldn't handle what I saw. And then there was my husband. He never said anything. He didn't have to. I felt it. The way he stopped reaching for me at night. The way he'd glance at me getting dressed, then look away. Maybe it was real. Maybe I imagined it. But the shame? That was real. I started changing with the lights off. I'd slip into bed after he was asleep. I avoided intimacy because I couldn't stand the thought of him seeing me. And the more I pulled away, the more I convinced myself he didn't want me anymore. 2 years in, I was unrecognizable. I had a TV interview booked, a wellness segment I used to do all the time. I went to get dressed. Nothing fit. Not the blazer, not the dress pants, not even the backup outfit I'd bought 2 sizes up. I sat on the floor of my closet, surrounded by clothes that didn't fit, and I cried. I canceled the interview. I never booked another one. Here's what no one tells you about weight gain after 40. It doesn't stay the same. It compounds. Every month, you're a little heavier, a little softer, a little more invisible. You stop going out. You make excuses. You avoid photos, beaches, reunions. You disappear from your own life. And the scariest part? I had all the credentials, all the knowledge, all the tools, and I still couldn't stop it because the rules didn't apply anymore. That's when I realized something. The advice I'd been giving women for over a decade, it was based on rules that don't apply after 40. Eat less, move more, track everything. Those rules worked when we were younger, but after 40, your body changes the game, and no one bothered to explain it. So I did what you probably did, what every logical person would do. I doubled down. I tried harder. I cut carbs. Full keto. No bread, no rice, no fruit. I felt foggy, exhausted, irritable. I lost 5 pounds in 2 weeks. Then nothing. I plateaued for 6 weeks. Then I gained it all back. So I tried calorie counting. I tracked every bite. 1,200 calories a day. I was starving, constantly. My hair started falling out. My nails got brittle. The scale didn't move. So I worked out harder. I hired a trainer. I did HIIT. I lifted weights. I ran. My muscles ached. I was exhausted. And my body? Still soft, still heavy. I tried intermittent fasting. 16-8, then 18-6, then OMAD. I white-knuckled through the hunger. I'd drop a few pounds, then my body would snap back harder than before. And then I tried the injections, the weight loss shots everyone was talking about. I'm a nutritionist. I knew better, but I was desperate. They worked. Sort of. My appetite disappeared. I could barely eat, but I felt sick. All the time. Nauseous, fatigued. Every meal made me feel worse. And the worst part? I knew I'd have to keep injecting forever. Because the moment I stopped, the weight would come screaming back. It wasn't fixing anything. It was just forcing my body into submission. That's when I hit rock bottom. I'm sitting there, needle in hand, feeling sick, hating myself. And I thought, maybe I'm broken. Maybe everyone else can lose weight and I just can't. What's wrong with me? I couldn't accept that. I'm a nutritionist. I've studied metabolism for years. So I stopped trying to force my body, and I started investigating. I spent months digging through metabolic research, gut studies, hormone papers, everything I could find on post-40 fat resistance. And then I stumbled onto something. A study, quietly shelved, never promoted, barely cited. You know how it goes. Pharmaceutical companies fund the research, then the findings don't support their products, and suddenly the funding dries up. The research stops. The paper gets buried in some journal nobody reads. But it was still out there. And what I found changed everything. That's when I realized I wasn't broken. My body wasn't broken. The rules were broken. Everything I'd been taught, eat less, move more, try harder, those rules worked when I was 30. But as you get older, my body was playing by different rules. And no one wanted to give me the new rule book. Let me show you what I found. Ever notice how some women seem to eat more and stay lean, while others starve themselves and still gain? It's not willpower. It's not luck. It's signals. And they all start in one place. Your gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria living in your intestinal tract, they control the signals that tell your body whether to store fat or burn it, whether to crave sugar or feel satisfied, whether inflammation stays low or spirals out of control. In your 20s and 30s, the good bacteria, the ones that signal stay lean, are in charge. But after 40, it's like the enemy takes over. Hormonal changes, stress, years of processed foods and antibiotics. It all adds up. Bad bacteria start multiplying. The good strains, like Akkermansia, Clostridium, Bifidobacterium, they get wiped out. And every day it goes on, that imbalance grows. The cravings get louder. The fat becomes more stubborn. You're fighting a war, and you don't even know where the battlefield is. This is why effort stops working. You can eat 1,200 calories a day. You can run 5 miles. You can track every macro. But if your gut is sending the wrong signals, your body will cling to fat like it's preparing for famine. It doesn't matter how hard you try. The signal is broken. But here's the part that changed everything for me. The study I found showed that when you restore the right bacterial strains, the ones naturally found in lean, metabolically healthy people, the signal resets. Your body stops storing. It starts releasing. Your cravings quiet down. Your energy comes back. The scale finally moves. Now, maybe you're thinking, I've tried probiotics for weight loss before. They didn't work. And you're right, they didn't. Look, probiotics for digestion? Sure. Some of them help with bloating, regularity, gut health. That's fine. But probiotics marketed for weight loss? Every single one of them is a gimmick. You've tried the expensive ones, the ones with the pretty labels promising fat loss. You thought, maybe this one will help. But here's the truth. The amounts? Laughable. Nowhere near what your body needs to shift metabolic signaling. The strains? Random. Cheap. Bacteria that have nothing to do with fat release or appetite control. And even if they did somehow include the right strains, they're dead before they ever reach your gut. It's a $50 billion industry built on false hope. When it comes to weight loss, you're not swallowing probiotics. You're swallowing marketing. What I'm about to show you isn't a probiotic. It's not another supplement with a fancy label and empty promises. It's a signal restoration system. And it's the only thing that actually worked for me and thousands of women just like us. You weren't failing. You weren't broken. You were silenced. But once the signal comes back online, the body listens. And when your body finally hears the right message, it lets go. So here's what actually works, and why this is completely different from anything you've tried before. If I wanted to actually fix this problem, not mask it, not force it, but fix it, I needed to restore 3 specific bacterial strains. Not just any probiotics, these exact strains. First, Akkermansia muciniphila. This is the strain researchers call the lean phenotype marker. When they study naturally lean people who eat normally and stay thin without effort, Akkermansia is present in high concentrations. When they study people with metabolic resistance, it's almost completely absent. Akkermansia lives in your gut lining. It produces short-chain fatty acids, specifically acetate and propionate, that signal your body to release stored fat, reduce inflammation, and strengthen intestinal barrier integrity. Without it, your gut lining becomes permeable. Toxins leak into your bloodstream. Inflammation spikes, and your body defaults to fat storage mode as a protective response. It's not a weight loss bacteria. It's a metabolic signaling bacteria. And after 40, it's one of the first strains to die off. Second, Clostridium butyricum. This one produces butyrate. Butyrate is a short-chain fatty acid that does something most people don't realize. It directly communicates with your brain's satiety centers. When your gut produces adequate butyrate, your brain receives the signal. We're satisfied. Stop eating. It also downregulates systemic inflammation, which is critical because chronic low-grade inflammation is one of the primary drivers of fat accumulation after 40. Without Clostridium butyricum, your body stays in a state of perceived stress. Cravings stay loud. Hunger never turns off. Fat storage accelerates. This strain is particularly hard to source because it's sensitive to oxygen and dies during standard manufacturing processes. Most supplement companies don't even bother with it. It's too expensive and too unstable. Third, Bifidobacterium infantis. This is the foundational strain. It's called infantis because it's the dominant bacteria in infants, the strain that builds a healthy microbiome from the ground up. In adults, it acts as a microbial stabilizer. It restores balance, supports digestion, and creates an environment where Akkermansia and Clostridium can actually survive and colonize. Without Bifidobacterium infantis, the other two strains can't establish. They get killed off by the bad bacteria already entrenched in your gut. Think of it as the advance team that clears the way for the other two to take root. But here's the critical part that no one talks about. These bacteria can't survive without fuel. They need specific prebiotic fibers to feed on. Without it, they die within days. You need two types: chicory root inulin, a soluble fiber that selectively feeds Akkermansia and Bifidobacterium. It's their primary energy source. Without it, they can't multiply or colonize. And resistant starch from potato, a slow-digesting starch that ferments in your colon and produces butyrate. This keeps Clostridium butyricum alive long enough to establish and start signaling. Most probiotic supplements skip the fuel entirely. They just dump dead or dying bacteria into your system and hope something sticks. It never does. Now, here's the problem I ran into when I tried to source these strains. Akkermansia muciniphila is extremely rare. It's an anaerobic bacteria, meaning it dies when exposed to oxygen. Standard probiotic manufacturing kills it instantly. The only way to keep it alive is through specialized freeze-drying and microencapsulation, a process that costs 10 times what normal probiotics cost. Clostridium butyricum is even harder. It's classified as a spore-forming bacteria, which means it has to be cultivated in tightly controlled anaerobic environments. Most labs in the US don't even have the equipment to do it. And Bifidobacterium infantis? The effective strains are patented and controlled by a handful of research institutions. You can't just buy it wholesale. I'm talking about months of searching, weeks of failed calls, dead ends everywhere. This is not something you can just throw together in a kitchen. That's when I reached out to Dr. Sarah Chin. Sarah and I went to grad school together. She's a microbiologist. She spent the last 15 years running a clinical research lab that specializes in gut-based therapeutics. She had access to the cultivation facilities, the encapsulation technology, the supply chains for these exact strains. I showed her the study I'd found. I showed her my own results, and I asked her, "Can we actually make this?" She said yes, but it would take time, and it wouldn't be cheap. We spent 6 months developing the exact formulation, getting the strain ratios right, testing microencapsulation to ensure survival through stomach acid, matching the prebiotic fuel to the bacterial load so they actually colonize instead of just passing through. We tested it on ourselves first, then on a small group of women Sarah had been working with in her metabolic research. The results were undeniable. Gut composition shifted within 3 weeks. Cravings dropped, energy stabilized, weight started moving. Not because we were trying harder, because the signal was finally restored. That formulation, all 3 strains, both prebiotic fuel sources, properly dosed and encapsulated, is what I'm about to show you. It's not a probiotic. It's not a supplement you take and hope for the best. It's a signal restoration system. And it works. Let me show you exactly what we created. The formulation I just described, we turned it into one simple daily capsule, and we called it Slim Leaf. Why? Because the key ingredients come from plant fibers, natural sources like chicory root and resistant starch that feed the good bacteria responsible for fat release. All 3 strains, both prebiotic fuel sources, properly dosed, microencapsulated so they survive stomach acid and actually colonize your gut. 1 capsule, once a day, with water, juice, tea, whatever you want. Nothing fancy, no hype, just the exact strains, the exact fuel, delivered exactly the way your gut needs it. It's completely flavorless. You won't taste it. You won't feel it go down. No shakes, no meal plans, no willpower required. You take it in the morning and go about your day. And while you're living your life, your gut is resetting. Within the first few weeks, most women notice the cravings start to quiet. The 3 p.m. sugar crash? Gone. The late-night kitchen raids? They just stop. Energy stabilizes. Sleep improves. Bloating drops. Those are the early signals that your gut is rebalancing. But the full reset happens between 90 and 180 days. That's when the strains fully colonize, when the signal completely resets. Your body stops clinging to fat like it's preparing for famine. The scale starts moving. Your clothes fit differently. Your face looks different. You stop avoiding mirrors. You stop hiding in loose black tops. You stop disappearing. That's what happened to me. I lost all the weight. I stopped showering in the dark. I stopped changing with the lights off. I wear what I want. I love taking photos. I'm confident again. Now, if you're rebuilding something as complex as your microbiome, it takes time. The full reset happens over months, not days. That's why most women choose the 6-bottle supply right from the start. That's 6 months, 180 days, the complete transformation. Not just weight, but the way you feel in your own skin, the way you move through the world. We also offer a 3-bottle supply. That's 90 days. Some women start there. That's fine. 90 days is enough to feel the difference, to see your body responding again. But here's what I've seen. Women who start with 3 bottles almost always come back for more, because once you feel it working, you don't want to stop. If you want the full reset and don't want to second guess whether you should have just committed from the start, the 6-bottle supply makes sense. You won't run out. You won't have to reorder. You won't risk us being sold out. 6 months, 1 choice. Then, your body remembers what to do. I need to be transparent with you. We can only produce limited batches. Akkermansia and Clostridium butyricum are not commodity ingredients. They require specialized cultivation. Microencapsulation, strict quality control. When a batch sells out, there's a wait, sometimes weeks or months. So if you're ready, don't wait. This doesn't give you a new body. It gives you back the body you thought you'd lost forever. The one that responds, the one that listens, the one that feels like you. And the best part? This isn't just theory. Thousands of women are already using Slim Leaf and finally seeing results they couldn't get anywhere else. Now, you might be thinking, this sounds good, but does it actually work? Fair question. Let me show you. Since we launched Slim Leaf, thousands of women have used it. And the pattern is undeniable. Different ages, different bodies, different lives, but always the same result.
I didn't change everything. I didn't go on a diet, I didn't work out more. I just took Slim Leaf every morning, and a few months later, I had lost over 30 pounds. I still cannot believe how hard I worked for years. I tried everything. And then all of a sudden, this little capsule comes along and fixes a signal that was broken in my gut. Thank you, Claire.
Jennifer lost 31 pounds in 4 months. No meal plan, no gym membership, just the signal reset.
The weirdest part? My cravings just stopped. I used to raid the pantry at night. Chips, cookies, ice cream. I couldn't help myself. 2 weeks in, I forgot to snack. I wasn't even thinking about food anymore.
That's the signal resetting. When your gut bacteria balance out, the hunger switches off. You don't need willpower anymore.
I couldn't look at myself for years. I showered with my eyes closed. I was afraid of touching my own body, even just to use soap. I avoided mirrors like they were weapons. I hated my body so much it made me sick. And now, I wore a bikini last month, for the first time in a decade. I didn't just feel beautiful, I felt like myself again.
Brenda is 34. This isn't just a problem for women over 40. It's happening to women in their 30s, their late 20s, even younger. because the signal breaks down faster now than it ever has. Stress, processed food, antibiotics, birth control, it all accelerates the damage. But here's what matters. When your body starts listening again, everything changes. It's not just the weight, it's the way you see yourself, the way you exist in your own skin.
My husband noticed before I did. He said, "You're different. You're smiling again. I didn't even realize I'd stopped."
Rebecca dropped 27 pounds. But what she really got back? Her confidence.
I was the woman hiding in the back of every photo, always behind someone, always turned to the side. Last Christmas, I stood front and center because I finally felt like myself again.
Notice the pattern? It's not just weight loss. It's getting your life back, feeling seen again, feeling wanted, feeling confident. That's what happens when the signal resets.
I went shopping for the first time in 3 years. Not online, in an actual store. And I tried on clothes without crying. Even the cute ones. The ones I thought I'd never be able to wear again. I stood in that fitting room and I actually liked what I saw. I bought 5 cute dresses.
Maria lost 34 pounds. But what she really lost? The shame, the fear, the voice that told her she didn't deserve to be seen.
3 months in, I was getting dressed, and I caught my husband staring. Not glancing, staring, the way he used to, years ago. I haven't felt this desirable since we got married.
What Stephanie felt there? That's real. That's what fixing the signal does. It doesn't change your body. It gives back what you have lost.
I avoided the beach for 8 years. 8 long years. I made excuses every summer. I'm too busy, I don't feel well. The truth? I was hiding. This summer, I went. And I wore a bikini.
Diane lost 29 pounds. But more importantly, she stopped hiding.
I look at photos from 2 years ago and I don't even recognize that woman. She was miserable, invisible. Now I take selfies, I post them, I feel alive again.
These aren't unicorn results. This is what happens when you fix the root cause. When you restore the signal, the body responds. Every single time.
The best part? I'm not starving. I'm not obsessing. I eat normal food. I live my life. And my body, it just works now.
Here's what makes this different from everything else you've tried. The bacterial strains in Slim Leaf, Akkermansia, Clostridium butyricum, Bifidobacterium infantis, they're now being studied in research labs around the world for their role in metabolic signaling. When you restore these strains, your body relearns how to regulate fat storage, appetite, and inflammation. It's not magic, it's a biological mechanism.
Remember the fitting room? The Facebook comment that broke me? I lost 42 pounds, but it's not just about the weight. I wear whatever I want now. Dresses, fitted tops, things I wouldn't even dream of looking at before. Men notice me again. I can feel it. That gaze, the one I thought I'd never get back. And those comments? I honestly don't even think about them anymore. When you have yourself back, none of that matters.
Michelle isn't ugly. She never was. Her signal was broken. And once we fixed it, her body remembered what to do. We've had women lose 20 pounds, 30 pounds, 40 pounds, some even more. But here's what they all say. My confidence came back before the scale even caught up. Because when your gut resets, everything shifts. Your energy, your mood, your cravings, your self-image. You stop feeling like you're fighting a losing battle. You start feeling like you again. Now, I know what you're thinking. This sounds amazing, but how do I actually get Slim Leaf? Fair question. Here's what we've done to make getting Slim Leaf and getting yourself back completely risk-free. You can get Slim Leaf in 2 recommended bundle sizes, a 3-bottle supply, or a 6-bottle supply. No subscriptions, no auto ship. Just choose what makes sense for you. If you choose the 6-bottle supply, you also get 3 essential digital guides, free. the Microbiome Reset Blueprint. The foods, habits, and environmental factors that support your microbiome long-term. Simple, practical, no meal plans. The Inflammation Fix. The hidden triggers keeping your body in fat storage mode, and how to eliminate them without overhauling your life. The Confidence Protocol. How to reclaim your self-image while your body transforms, because your mindset shifts before the scale does. These aren't extras. They're essential parts of the system. They help you understand what's happening inside your body while Slim Leaf does the work. Now here's what makes this an absolute no-brainer. You're covered by a 60-day money-back guarantee. And I mean covered. Use it for 2 months. Take every capsule. Empty every bottle. If it doesn't work for you, send the empty bottles back. Full refund. No hassle, no questions, no forms to fill out. Why would we offer a guarantee like that? Because we've seen thousands of women change their lives with Slim Leaf. That's how confident we are it will also change yours. We're not here to keep your money. We're here to help women get back what they've lost. That's it. So what are you actually risking? Everything. If you do nothing, you're risking yourself, your happiness, your confidence, the next years of your life. You're risking staying exactly where you are, hiding, avoiding mirrors, hating what you see. The only thing you're not risking? Money. But if you're ready to fix this, you need to act now. We can only produce limited batches of Slim Leaf. These aren't commodity ingredients. Akkermansia muciniphila and Clostridium butyricum are rare, oxygen-sensitive bacterial strains that require specialized anaerobic cultivation labs. The microencapsulation process alone takes weeks. Quality testing, stability verification, batch certification. When this batch sells out, we're out. 1 to 3 months, minimum. That's how long it takes to cultivate the next batch and get it through production. So here's what you do. Click the button below that will appear in a few moments. Choose your supply, 3 bottles or 6 bottles. And we'll fix this together. I know what this feels like. I've been exactly where you are. But remember, you're not just buying a capsule. You're buying back the woman you thought you'd lost. Now, maybe you're thinking, what if this doesn't work for me? Here's the thing, 60-day money-back guarantee, empty bottles and all. If your cravings don't drop, if your body doesn't respond, send them back. Full refund, no questions. You're not risking money, you're risking staying exactly where you are. But I've tried everything. No, you've tried effort-based solutions. Diets, workouts, injections. Those require you to fight your body. Slim Leaf is a signal restoration system. When the signal resets, your body stops fighting you. That's not something you've tried before. I'm too old. It's too late. You're not too old. Your signal is just more broken. That's exactly why this works. Linda's 56, Patricia's 53, Diane's 50. Age isn't the problem. A broken signal is. Is this hard? 1 capsule, once a day, with whatever you're drinking. That's it. If you can brush your teeth, you can do this. I'll think about it. Fine. You can wait, but your body won't. Every day that goes by, your signal breaks down further. Your body becomes more resistant. 6 months from now, you're heavier, more invisible, and you'll hate that you waited. So here's your 2 options. Keep hiding. Keep hating what you see, yourself. Keep disappearing. Or fix the signal. Get your body back. Get your life back. We're rooting for you, but you have to choose. And you have to choose now. So here we are. You've seen the mechanism. You've seen the proof. You've seen the guarantee. Now you have to choose between doing something good for yourself or to keep listening to your fear. Picture yourself 6 months from now. You're standing in front of the mirror, not avoiding it, looking at it. You're wearing something fitted, something you thought you'd never wear again. And you're smiling. Not forcing it, really smiling. Your husband looks at you. That gaze, the one you thought was gone forever. You catch yourself in a store window and think, I look good. You don't hide anymore. You don't shrink. You don't disappear. You feel beautiful again. Or you do nothing. And next year you're 20 pounds heavier, softer, slower, more invisible. You hate yourself a little more every time you see your reflection. You avoid intimacy even more. You make more excuses. You disappear further. The shame gets louder. And the old you gets quieter. Now here's the thing. This isn't for everyone. If you're still looking for another diet, this isn't for you. If you want to think about it for 6 more months, don't bother. This is for women who are done hiding. Women who are ready to fix the signal and let their body respond again. Women who want their life back. Not next year, but now. But I need to be honest with you. We have very limited supply right now. These bacterial strains aren't sitting in a warehouse somewhere. Akkermansia muciniphila and Clostridium butyricum are cultivated in specialized anaerobic labs, microencapsulated, quality tested, batch certified. It takes weeks, sometimes months. When this batch sells out, we're out. And you'll be stuck waiting while your body keeps breaking down. So if you want to feel beautiful again, if you want to fix your body once and for all, if you're tired of hating what you see in the mirror, you need to act right now. Click the button below. Choose the 6-bottle supply if you're serious about the full transformation. Choose the 3-bottle supply if you want to test the waters. But choose yourself for once. Because every day you wait, your signal breaks down further. And 6 months from now, you'll wish you'd started today. You've spent years feeling ugly in your own skin. Hiding, crying, hating yourself. Showering in the dark, changing with the lights off, avoiding mirrors. Don't spend another day like that. Enough is enough. Click the button, choose your package, and start becoming the woman you know you're supposed to be. The one who's been waiting for you to finally fix this. She's ready. Are you?